Discover lucrative earnings with cargo van contracts. Here's the startup guide you need.
Merge with LaserShip. It's a parcel distributor.
All right, so first of all, let me ask you a question. So what is it that you actually do right now? Because people don't really know what you do. So what is it that you're doing now?
Well, right now, I have a cargo van business. I have a box truck business. I also have a YouTube business. You there where I make content. But like my main source of income right now is with contracting, and I use my cargo vans for that.
So tell me about the cargo van business, because that sounds lucrative. I see a lot of people, buying box trucks, getting cargo vans. Just what's that like?
Okay, well, basically, I started out with the cargo vans. You know, I got the high roofs, and the high roof cargo vans, which are from Nissan. They got the MVs, 2500s and the 1500s. I prefer those.
All right.
Because those engines right there are great. Mileage is great. Fords are pretty good too. I started out with a Ford Transit Connect. That's how I first got into the business. First time me ever getting into the business, I was up the way. My old head was giving me some game about LaserShip. He introduced me to the whole trucking joint.
So tell us about LaserShip.
So, well, LaserShip, they merged with On Track. LaserShip is a parcel company right now. But when I
say
started,
parcel, you mean like
parcel?
Yeah, what is parcel?
Residential deliveries like your Amazons, your
Okay.
Fashion Novas, your H&M, whatever that shit is, your clothing stores and shit. You get everything from there. We even got contracts with Walmart too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah? But when I first started out with LaserShip, I was doing parcels and I was doing medicals. That's how I got introduced to the medical routes and things like that. I got introduced to them through LaserShip.
All right.
So.
And LaserShip is who you doing business with right now?
Yeah, I'm currently doing business with LaserShip, and I'm currently doing business with AEX.
So what type of contracts you got right now with LaserShip?
Right now, LaserShip, I have a RSP. You there?
Yeah. And what's that?
RSP is basically damn, I can't remember the name. Yeah, I can't remember the name right now and shit you dig, but an RSP and shit you dig is basically you are a master contractor, but they don't even use master contracting no more. They use RSPs.
Okay.
You there? So RSPs is basically a master contractor. So that's what I have. I have a master contract with LaserShip. And with having a master contract with LaserShip, you basically I can hire anybody that I want.
Okay.
And right now I'm in the process of bidding on contracts. Well, bidding on territories. I have a contract already, but I'm in the process of bidding on specific territories that I want.
Okay.
You know? So I had a phone call with them today. We were crunching numbers, going over numbers, and things like that. And the way that LaserShip is paying out, they're paying out per stop. You get a base pay, and then you get to pay for per stop of the parcels that you're giving out to the public.
Okay.
You understand? So that ranges between $1 and $2. Okay. Is what they want to pay, and then they got a base pay that ranges from that. You can work with that. You know what I'm saying? The base pay.
So it's anywhere from $1 to $2 per package.
Per package. And then they tally up the numbers. They take the package and then they take the base, right? And they times that for how many drops that you have that day.
Okay.
And drops to me are stops.
Okay.
Those are the stops that you're gonna have, and that's how LaserShip is paying out.
Okay.
Excuse me. So once you do your numbers and shit like that, and then you find out what your base number, then you find out what you're gonna make at the end of the week. And the way that you do that is you take the per stop in the base, and you times that times your stops.
Okay.
Then you'll get a base number. Then you take your profit number, which is your base number. I'm not talking about the same base that they pay you per day. I'm talking about your base number, what you're profiting. And basically what you're profiting and shit, you take that and you divide that number by as many stops, and then you tell them, all right, this is what I'm getting paid per stop. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that's going.
All right. So for my people out there watching, how much money would you say it would take to get started in a cargo van business?
Okay.
Realistically.
Realistically, all right. Depending on if you want, because with LaserShip is many functions that you can use. You can use cars, you can use vans, or you can use cargo.
So people out there, they can use their own car.
Yes.
Okay.
You can definitely use your own car. If you want to get into the game, you can use your own car. You did cargo van, SUVs, and regular cars. You can use all of that.
But like
to get in the game.
ballpark figure, how much money you think it would take for the average person that just wanted to do something small, just start off on their own, quit their 9 to 5, or maybe do some type of side hustle or part-time work? How much money?
Well, as long as you got your insurance, the only thing that you're gonna have to have is 100,000, 50,000, 300,000. That insurance is cheap as fuck if you want to do progressive. Go through progressive. That's regular insurance right there.
And so, like, as far as a number, let's say a dollar amount, how much would it take to get started?
I say 1,500.
$1,500.
Yep.
That's all it takes.
That's it.
And over $1,500, how much of a return can a person expect to see within, let's say, 30 days?
30 days and shit. Now, depending on your territories and shit, 30 days, let's say, however you add up your per stop price for the package.
But,
So let me give you a rough number, right? Let's say you get $1 per stop. Let's say that you're delivering 700 packages throughout that week. So you do
$1 times
700. That's $700.
So they can look, so in about 30 days, they can double their money.
Yes.
Okay,
You know?
copy.
You gonna really triple your money because that day you're gonna make $700. Right. So if you're making $700 every day times 5, do the math on that.
So basically, they can start off with roughly about $1,500 and end up with about $5,000.
Yes, a month. You know, you can make that a month. You know,
Yeah. So the cargo van business seems to be a lucrative business.
it's very lucrative.
So, what about